Hello there, you're welcome to my channel. If you're new here, that is, you see me for the very first time, my name is Kemi and I am a content creator living in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I share tips about just life in Canada, how to settle in, especially for newcomers, how to settle in hassle-free, and to have access to information that will help you to, just have all of the best and just enjoy this Canada that we have come to. If you have left your home country to come here, why not just enjoy it? Not just walk. There are also some other ways or some other benefits that are available to you. So I would suggest that you go watch my previous videos, because I've created some videos in the past just talking about those benefits, and I'm going to be sharing more soon. Okay, I also create lifestyle content with my family. I recently had a baby, and I've been enjoying the newborn, that newborn moment, right? So thank you so much for staying. Today I'm going to be talking about a very important topic, because this is the season. This is summer is coming to an end, fall is beginning. As a matter of fact, I should have done this earlier, but like I said, I just had a newborn. As you know, no time. As you can see, I'm doing this in the car, because if I were to do it in the house, my mind is going to be somewhere else. I'm going to be having divided attention. Also, my 7-year-old is going to be like, mommy, she's going to want to feature in this video. So I thought, let me do this in a very quiet and secure place. And where? In the car. Okay, so like I said, today we're going to be talking about the educational system, and I'm going to be focusing on Manitoba, because I am in the province of Manitoba. I have good knowledge of the province of Manitoba, and some of these things also apply to Canada wide. You get my point, right? So what are we talking about? I just want to give you like some basics that you should know about the Canadian, or by specificity, the Manitoba educational system, and things you should put in mind, or things you should note when you want to select a school for your child. Now, when I'm talking about school, I'm going to be focusing on K to 12, that is kindergarten to grade 12. Okay, yes. So if that is something you'd like to know more about, or you're planning to come to Canada is already in the works for you, you're going to be coming soon, or you're already here, your child is yet to be 5, that is, your child is yet to start school, and you're still gathering information, then you have come to the right place. Okay, please make sure you watch this video to the end. Subscribe if you are yet to. Like, let me know what you think in the comment section, and let me know if you have any questions. Okay, and I'll be sure to answer them. Thank you. All right, guys, so without much ado, without beating around the bush, let's go right into the business. So let's start. What is the educational system, or what's the structure of the educational system? Now, like I said, I'm going to be focusing on Manitoba. Schools in Canada usually are divided by divisions or districts. Now, these divisions and districts are usually classified by geographical areas or catchment areas. Okay, so now let's go to Manitoba. Manitoba has 54 school divisions, one of which Winnipeg falls in. So let's come back to the city of Winnipeg, because I live in Winnipeg, for example. So that being said, this video might be more applicable to people who are in Manitoba, or people who are moving to Manitoba, or people in Winnipeg. I'm sorry if you're in other provinces, but this information is mostly general, and it would likely apply to your province also. Okay, you just need to go to the website of your school division or your province, and then find out if the information is different. But generally, most of these things will apply to you also. Okay, so as I was saying, each province will have its own school divisions. Okay, and then each city will also have its own divisions. Yes, for example, Manitoba has 54 school divisions, and in the city of Winnipeg itself as a city now has 6 school divisions, or as we'll call it, school districts. Okay, it's either called districts or divisions. Okay, now let's talk about what kind of schools we have. Now, if you are you have a child, you are here, it's usually said that every child has a right to go to school. Yes, so every child has a right to go to school. But what kind of school? Now, there are 3 types of school that you will find, at least for Manitoba. We have the public schools, we have the independent schools, which we normally call, or which is commonly called, private school, and we have the home school. Yes, you have a right to homeschool your child, but there are regulations and guidelines, provincial regulations and guidelines you have to follow. If you choose to say, okay, Me, I don't want my child to go to school. I want my child to be taught at home, okay? There are guidelines you need to follow. And also, most of the schools are from K to 12, kindergarten to grade 12. But not all schools go from kindergarten to grade 12. I'm going to be using an example of my daughter's school. My daughter's school does not run from kindergarten to grade 12. She is in a K to 6 school, that is from kindergarten to grade 6. So that means once she's done with grade 6, once she graduates grade 6, we have to go to another school again. Next thing we want to talk about is, when does your child start school? You know, it's funny to know that back from where I'm coming from, our children start school as early as age 2, age 3. In fact, before we came here when my daughter was 4 years old, and she already started school like 2 years before that. I'm sorry for the noise. As you can tell, I'm in the car. I had to roll up the window a little so that some air can come in, and there's a lot of construction. This is Manitoba. It's construction season. Summer is construction. Okay, back to the topic, okay? So when we came, she already started about 2 years of school. So coming here at age 4, she had to stay at home because school starts at 5. So kindergarten, your child will start kindergarten at age 5. Now, that said, there are some provinces where they offer nursery schools, that it is they offer nursery education, which allows your child to start school at an early age. If you're able to access that, well, congratulations to you, okay? But for me, we're not able to access that. So there are some Montessori, even here, I've seen some Montessori schools, some preschools, okay, that they call them pre-kindergarten or preschools or nursery schools, so that way the kids can go to school before, but they're usually offered mostly by independents, that is private, not usually public schools, okay? So that's one thing you should know. They start from age 5, kindergarten, and then grade 1 by age 6. Now, another thing you should note is that it is usually said it is not compulsory for your child to start kindergarten. You might choose to say, oh, my child is going to start age 6 at grade 1. That is the official age. But if you choose to allow your child to start at 5 kindergarten, that is also allowed. So now let us talk about what they're learning. Usually what they're learning in school, depending on the type of school. Now, there are also 2 types, or 3 or 4, yeah. We have the English only school, we have the French only school, and we have the French immersion school, where they're teaching both English and French. And there's a 4th one, which is like the trade school, which we are not going to be focusing on, okay? So depending on the type of school your child chooses to go to, or you choose to send your child to, of course, the language of choice, they'll be learning that. They'll be learning mathematics, and they will also be learning social studies, arts. They will be teaching them also careers. Depending on the age, they will also be learning so many other things. Just things that helps them to settle in, as in Canada, in the country of Canada, learning about the environment, learning about the space. They also have a lot, when I say a lot, tons of extracurricular activities. As a matter of fact, they do more of those things to help them with reasoning, to help them with adjusting to the environment, to help them with human relation, which is one thing I love about the educational system here. It's not just about learning mathematics and learning all those other things, but they learn other things that helps them to, adapt in life, adapt in the outside world, okay? So now that we have said, or we've run through what the educational system is like, and yes, so now let us talk about things you need to consider when you're choosing a school, when you're choosing a school for your child. Now, I'm going to be going through some points of things you need to consider. Now, this list might not be exhaustive because I might be missing out some things. If there's anything I've missed out, or if you have any questions, like I said, please let me know in the comment section. I would love to reply to you, okay? Now, the first thing you want to consider, which I've already talked about, is your district or your division. Now, you have settled, you have come here, you live in an area. First, you need to check the school or the district that your catchment area belongs to. For example, where I live, my division or my district, the name of my school division is Pembina Trails. So that means you are going to select a school that is closest to where you live. Usually, that is the way it works. you have to select a school that is closest to your place of residence, because when you are applying, they are going to check, you're going to put in your address and put in all of that. That being said, there's something called school of choice. Yes, school of choice is a situation whereby you can apply to a school that is outside your district or division, or a school that is outside your residence. Do you understand me? Now, there are some conditions to that. Those conditions being that, for example, you as a parent might not be able to offer after school care. The school is so many conditions which will be considered by the school or the district before they allow your child to be enrolled into that school. Yes, so you can choose to say, okay, I don't like all the schools that are close to my place of residence. I want to apply to somewhere other school. Yes, they might allow you to. They might give your child, or they might enroll your child, as long as there is still spots, or there are slots available, because each school has a maximum number of students that they can enroll. I hope you guys are getting my point. Yes, so the first thing you want to consider is the district or division. Now, for each district and division, they have the English school and they have the French immersion school. So you may also consider, do you want your child to learn just English, or you want your child to be in a school where they're learning both English and French? I hope you guys are following thus far. Thank you. Again, I'll be using myself as an example. For my daughter, for kindergarten, because the closest school was just there, for kindergarten, she was in an English only school. Now, if I had known earlier, I would have maybe done more research. But when she went into grade 1, we moved her from the kindergarten to a French immersion school in grade 1. Okay, so those are things you want to consider before you choose, and you have to consider them early when they're starting kindergarten or grade 1. Okay, now the next thing I want to talk about is fees. Yes, fees, money. That is also a very important factor in choosing school. Like I said, we have 3 different types of school. Now, this is a criteria in choosing which school your child goes to. If you choose to send your child to a public school, a fee is attached. For each of those schools, of course, a fee is attached. You are going to be paying some money. For example, for public school, there's usually a minimum fee which they pay every year. Okay, and it goes as low as $50, which is small money. Okay, compared to how much you pay if you choose to send your child to a private school. Okay, or compared to what you do, or the requirement if you choose to homeschool your child, which in some cases you might think is cost effective. You have to look at it in both ways. I won't be talking a lot about that because I do not have full information about homeschooling. I do not intend to homeschool, so I did not find out about it. Okay, so usually for private schools, of course, you are going to be spending more. Yes, private schools, you'll be spending more. For public schools, you have just a little amount of money you're paying, and also you are going to be buying school supplies every school year. The school is going to give you a list of things to buy: pencils, indoor shoes, so many things, depending on the class and depending on the class of your child. Okay, now for public schools also, they do not wear uniforms. You have to wear. That's another thing I look at, because you have to spend money buying clothes. As a matter of fact, I'd say it's that you spend money buying clothes compared to private schools where they have uniforms, so you know that this is what they are wearing. Of course, you have to buy new uniforms. Well, it depends on your child if they've outgrown their clothes or not. But as you know how kids grow, right? How they grow out of clothes at that age. Right, so for private schools, they have uniforms. Most of them, I believe, have uniforms. Okay, so that's one thing about fees you need to consider. For public schools, you pay lesser, but private schools, you have to pay more. You can pay as much as $250 per term or per session. Okay, to a maximum of, I don't know, maybe 1,000 per year. I do not know, like I said, but I do know that you have to pay some money. You have to pay more. If your child is going to a private school, please let me know in the comment section how much you are paying. Okay, now another thing you want to consider before choosing a school is the available amenities. When I mean available amenities, I mean daycare and transportation. Now, this is where I'm going. This is a very important criteria in this, okay? Now, this is why I say so. For example, for us, when school starts, school starting time varies. Now, when my daughter was in kindergarten, she was starting school at 8:20, okay? Now, things changed, and then because of lack of adequate bus drivers, the school time moved to 9 a.m. So now in grade 1 in a new school, they start school at 9 a.m. So within the same division, they have two start times. Some schools start at 8:20, some start at 9, just to allow them stagger the transport because of logistics, right? Because they do not have enough bus drivers, so some can go earlier and some can go later. So my point is that imagine if you have to resume work at 9 a.m. and your daughter also resumes school at 9 a.m. What are you going to do? Which one are you going to forsake for each other? And both of you are working. You do not have someone to take her to school and all of that. So which is where before and after school and transportation comes in. Check if the school has a before and after school program. Now, a before and after school program for before school is where the school they have this group of people. Yeah, it's the before and after school program where the child can come in as early as 7 a.m. before the school starts properly, and then when the school starts, you just go into the school, and then after school, when the school ends at 3:55 or 4, depending on the school, the after school program takes over, and then you can pick them up as late as 6 p.m. Another thing you want to consider, like I said again, is transportation. Access to school bus. Now, before you can have access to school bus, the distance between your place of residence and the school, the distance between walking distance, by the way, the walking distance between your place of residence and the school must be more than 1.6 kilometers before you are approved to join the school bus. That said, if your distance is more than 1.6 kilometers, well, congratulations to you, because you can easily apply for a school bus to pick up your child and drop off your child at home. This is very important for people who are just coming and do not have a car, do not intend to buy a car anytime soon. It might be a bit difficult for you, especially during winter, to transport your child to school. Now, note that during winter, there are days that the school bus will not work, okay? There are days that, because of adverse conditions in a place like Winnipeg, where we have extreme winter conditions, there are days that the school bus might be cancelled and will not run, okay? Now, in days like that, in situations like that, the onus is on you to transport your child to school, or else your child misses school that day, okay? So you have to choose on. That said, you also have to consider, which school. I hope you guys are getting my point. I hope these things are making sense to you, okay? So like I said, transportation is also another thing that you want to take note of. Now, just in case that you also, another situation in which your child can qualify for transportation for school bus is when there's a major road or there's an hazardous road between your place of residence and the school. For example, if you live in Winnipeg, you are very familiar with the perimeter. If there's a perimeter highway, or the perimeter highway cuts across your house and the school your child is going to, well, those are not safe conditions. So you most likely be qualified, or you most likely qualify for a school bus. I hope you guys are getting my point. Thank you. Okay, yes, I think I've covered the major things that you need to consider when selecting a school for your child, okay? Like I said, all these things are things that you should take note of. They are not exhaustive. There are other things. If you have questions, let me know in the comment section. Now, let's talk about registration. Like I said, registration is when your child is 5. Your child begins kindergarten, but they can start earlier depending on province, depending on your ability to pay those extra fees, or depending on where you are. If you're able to also enroll. Remember, there's a limited number, or there's a maximum number of students that each of these schools can take. Okay, so if you find any of those nursery schools and they still have slots, why not? You can take your child to them. Now, registration for school usually is through the district or the divisions. You can also apply through the school itself. That is, you can pick up a form from the school itself that you want your child to go to, or you can go apply through the divisions. They are going to send you forms, send you the provincial guidelines, all the information that you need to know. Okay, and they will check to be sure that they have space and your child fits into that school. When I say fit, I mean it is a school in your catchment area. Okay, also one thing I think I love, that I enjoy about the school year, is the fact that the school accepts hall. When I mean hall, it is all inclusive. For students also with special needs, the school is able to accommodate them as long as they have all the tools and resources to take care of your child or of your ward. Okay, I hope you guys have learned one or two things about school generally, choosing a school, and just what you need to know to choose a school. Now, I'm going to be in another video, in my next video, as a matter of fact, I'm going to be talking to my daughter who is attending a French immersion school. This was by demand by someone. I hope I'm able to get a lot out of her, and we are able to make sense, because I'm going to be featuring my 7-year-old. I hope we make points, or we make sense out of the video. But just to gather our experience about attending a French immersion school, being English speaking people with no knowledge of French. Okay, you guys should watch out for that video. So thank you so much for watching this one. If you enjoyed it, or there's any question, like I said, let me know in the comment section. If you enjoyed it, type I thoroughly enjoyed this video in the comment section, and I'll be back again another time. Okay, but until then, be good. Bye.